Okay, everybody. The 10-minute break is over. Welcome back, if anyone is still watching. Hello, Carlos. Thank you on the congratulations. 100 followers. It's pretty neat. All right. Where were we? We were here. And we were trying to figure out how to get to these other platforms. Okay, looks like this thing is made for the grapple beam. Which I don't have. What did I just do? Oh shit! That'll help. There's also a thing underwater there that's glowing. I'll check that out later. Whoop. Alright, well, I'm glad you're still here, Carlos. It's always good to see you in the chat. I think we'll probably... I hope we're done with Metroid next week. I think I'm starting to reach the point where I'm just kind of waiting for it to be over. And I would probably be much less frustrated with it if there was some kind of fast travel, but there isn't. You have to backtrack everywhere, and I'm over that. I don't have the time to do that. The game does seem like it's losing steam. Yeah. I mean, that's another problem with doing the full playthroughs, is like if it's a game I've never played before, which I try to lean towards. I try to lean towards games, usually, that I haven't beaten or played. Like, Destroy All Humans was an example. But sometimes, you know, like Max Payne, it's stuff I've played. But if it's something I haven't, I don't know if it's going to lose steam like this. I mean, there's not much of a narrative here in the first place. I don't know what the hell I'm doing up here. I need a grapple beam, that's what I need. Yeah. I think I just gotta jump down. Something is hurting me? The fish? That creature. Oh, what the hell are you? Whoa! You sound Italian. Alright. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of things I could be doing to make the production value of streams higher and to make them more appealing for viewers. I know there's a lot, and there's some that I want to do, and there's some of it that's just not me. I really don't wanna, like the clickbaity titles and that kind of thing. It's really a shame that the compilations didn't catch on more, because I really do want to do that as well. But the problem is, the compilations, and Thomas knows, compilations take a lot of time. A lot to put together. Because you're taking a stream that's several hours long, or a gameplay recording for Let's Plays that's several hours long, and you're condensing it into a highlight reel that's only 20 minutes or something like that. Yeah. It's a shame. I thought the compilations would help reach new people. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to make the compilations. Because I thought, okay, there's another audience out there that doesn't like watching long streams, but they do like watching Let's Plays, and they do like watching shorter type videos. So what if I took the best moments of a stream and condensed that into something people would watch? But so far, you know, they haven't really caught on. The reels, those have been the shorts, the TikToks, whatever you want to call them, those have been getting a fair bit of views, I have to say. But still not a lot of growth on I don't know what you'd call it, cross-pollination side of things. There's not a lot of comments, there's not a lot of people that see those and go, oh, I should watch the streams. They just see it, they like it, and they move on with their day. My goal with those was to introduce more people to the streams. But it seems like even with like the TikToks, or like the vertical videos, you know, they're on more than just TikTok. Even though the view count is pretty good, people just move on with their day. They don't really engage with it further than just watching it once or however many times before scrolling. YouTube is really tough to reach people organically on, and same with Twitch. And the problem is we just didn't get here early enough. I mean, part of it too is you know, are we good enough entertainers? And that's totally subjective. But what's not subjective is just how much more saturated it is now. There's just so many more people now trying to stream, or, you know, just using the platform in general, even not in the same ways that you are. It's, you can put a lot of work into your content, and, you know, it doesn't always matter. It mostly doesn't matter. It should matter. It should matter a lot more than it does. And it just doesn't, because there's so many people competing for attention. This is the attention economy. And you're competing with literally millions of other people trying to do similar things. Trying to vie for the same audiences. Oh shit. This thing, what? Is this encased in ice? Gravity suit? I can't jump up here. What the hell? There. You know, it's tricky. A lot of it boils down to luck. Having good content should be the minimum, right? To compete. But even if it's good, there's no guarantees. There's just so many people out there. I like the color scheme on this suit with the blue shoulder pads and the, yeah, I like this a lot. So what is this going to do for us? Movement in liquid environments is no longer hindered. Well, how about that? That's pretty great. Now we can get the hell out of here. No, I mean, it certainly helps to, I mean, that's obvious advice, right? You need something that helps you stick out, to, you know, to separate yourself from the crowd. But the thing is, millions of people are doing things to stick out from the crowd, to the point where everybody trying to stick out is still just a crowd. If you're trying to, if everyone is a stick figure, and you're wearing, and you're like highlighted, and other people start highlighting themselves too, in the same attempt that you are, then it's just going to be a mess of highlighted. You know what I mean? Like it's by if everyone is sticking out, no one is sticking out. There's only so many things you can do to differentiate yourself. There's only so many niches you can fill when there's millions of other people trying to fill those niches. And coming from PewDiePie, I mean, that's, you want to talk about luck. Like, he's just kind of the perfect example. There's absolutely nothing that PewDiePie was doing to make himself different from other Let's Players. He was just being himself, and he was uploading videos of himself playing video games. So, he got big because the algorithm liked him. They chose to push him. He's got the audience he's got, yes, because of hard work, and because he makes, like, high-quality Let's Plays or whatever. But a big part of that is luck, because there's probably a million other channels on the same level as PewDiePie, even back when he started, that just didn't get the same luck when it came to finding viewers. You know, it's like a billionaire telling you, you know, if you want to get rich like me, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It's not that simple. everyone can try and find something to stick out. And I do agree that's good advice. But it's not exactly the most helpful, because everybody is trying to stick out. I do get views, but then I look at analytics and it says the average time is like 1 minute, which means 95% of people only watch for a minute. Yeah, no, and it's good that he admits that. You know, I'm not saying he's delusional or he thinks he's better than everybody. I don't really watch his videos. I've watched a couple because, you know, he's culturally relevant. I've had to have seen a couple videos just out of curiosity to see why this guy is so popular. And my conclusion is that, yeah, they're just Let's Plays. They're just like reaction videos and stuff like that. And that's not exactly unique content. People watch him for him. But the only way people could watch him for him is if YouTube put people onto him in the first place. Because it's hard to get views organically. To grow a viewer base, to have people discover you. It's good that he mentioned that, because it's totally true. You know, it's like good content, yeah, but a lot of it's luck. Being in the right place at the right time. And as the internet continues to get older, and more people grow up on it and start deciding that they want to make videos and add to this giant mess of media online, then the ocean's only going to get deeper. How the hell do I get out of here? Ooh, I like the new morph ball. It's pretty. I think we should appeal to the incels. Hey, you joke, but that's a legitimate business strategy. If you appeal to a bunch of fringe extremists, you know, those people are crazy, and they're crazy dedicated, and they will probably buy merch and other shit, you know. Look at Donald Trump's fan base. They're not exactly the brightest folks, but damn if they're nothing but loyal. And they'll buy as many MAGA hats and flags as you can put on your store. Oh, I completely agree. Yeah, it's definitely more about who you know than what you know. You know, if you're friends with somebody who has a more successful platform, you know, a channel that's doing better than yours, and you reach out and they give you a shout out or you guys collaborate, then you're gonna get, you know, a ton of new exposure that somebody who doesn't have friends like that is ever gonna see. It's not a career path because it's like winning the lottery. It's not, you know, to make it as big as PewDiePie is winning the lottery, but even just a sizable base where you can sustain yourself even part-time through, you know, online content creation is still, it's not feasible. It's not like a realistic thing to try and obtain. Sustaining is hard. Absolutely. There have been times in my channel's history where I've had some momentum and I've had people watching. But then because school got busy or because I got depressed and just couldn't push myself to make content, those people fell off. Like, I remember back when I was streaming Arkham Asylum, I was getting on average 15 viewers a stream with like 10 people in the chat, it felt like. And I would check my analytics, and I'd be getting like 50 views minimum on all the VODs. And it was going up. But I had to stop for a while because of real-life issues. You know, be it midterms or finals or depression. And that shit just slid right off. And all those people, they never came back. They might even be in that follower list of 100 people. But that doesn't mean they watch the streams. Yeah, Yeah, even YouTubers that were huge back in the day. I completely agree with what you're saying. Like, look at, like, yeah, like Smosh and shit like that. Or, like, any of those channels from back then. Like, how often do you hear about the Annoying Orange these days? Or Fred, or Ray William Johnson, or Niga Higa, or however you say it. Or, well, Shane Dawson's a pedophile. But I'm trying to think, like, I don't know. There's very few that have survived and are, like, still thriving in the way that they used to. Because now they're mostly getting a fraction, if any attention at all. The only one I can think of is, no, I really can't think of anybody. I would have used Shane Dawson as an example. It's weird. He kind of pivoted into a new audience of, like, celebrity gossip and, like, you know, the whole drama subgenre of YouTuber. But then he, you know, people found out he was a pedophile. And so his teenage, his audience of, like, late teens to early 20s women kind of dried up. And I think his career is kind of dead. He's the only one from back in those days that was still, like, getting... I would still hear his name every now and then. PewDiePie is still big, but here's the thing. I don't consider him an OG. I don't remember PewDiePie from the days of Smosh and the days of, like, those kinds of channels. Because all the big YouTubers that I think of are, like, pre-Let's Play era. Like, Let's Plays are, like, the Silver Age. I'm talking about the Golden Age, where, like, Chocolate Rain and shit was what was popular. In those days, Let's Plays were not a popular thing. There was no single YouTuber. I can think of, like, Chugga Conroy, that was one. Nintendo Capri Sun. Those were, like, big Let's Play channels back in the day because they put out huge amounts of content, and the bar for quality was so shit that them actually having a proper capture card and mic was sort of the exception, not the rule. People would just record in front of their fucking TV. Yeah, Smosh is like a... Yeah, no, I mean, any way they can adapt and survive, go for it. As long as they're not appealing to, to extremists. That's, you know, I'm fine with that. Niga Higa still gets lots of views on Twitch. I didn't know he streamed on Twitch. I just kind of assumed he fucked off to do whatever. Good for him. Yeah, you could be like Tavares and make, like, car videos and then decide that the car videos aren't getting enough attention, so you need to appeal to right-wingers. Which is, like, in my opinion, only a couple steps removed from war profiteering. Because you're trying to profit off the destruction of democracy and the sense of community in our country. Which is only going to lead to bad things. He's always been consistent on YouTube too. I don't think Ryan's videos from, like, 5 years ago have as many views as his videos from 15 years ago. I don't think that's true. People's attention spans are, I don't know. The people who grew up watching him, they probably stopped. And, you know, new people, they found entertainment in other things. I'm not saying he wasn't still able to sustain himself and he wasn't finding success by the metrics that we all look at as success. But I'm saying, like, he was the #1 on YouTube for, like, a long time. At least 5 years. He was #1, undisputed. And even if his videos were successful at the end, they weren't at that metric. Because people's tastes change. And audiences change. People get older. Kids get old enough to start watching. But you get the point I'm trying to make. You gotta do it because you enjoy it. Because the statistical improbability is the truth. Like, that's the truth. That it's statistically improbable. Not impossible, but it's damn near impossible for it to be a full-time sustainable career path. You gotta do it because you enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, I mean, what are you really doing it for? Yeah, you gotta keep your brand consistent, or you gotta change. Like, you have to maintain who you are. People watch you for you. That's why PewDiePie's so successful, right? He pivoted. I don't even know if he still plays video games. Because again, I don't really watch him. Never really did. But the guy used to make like exclusively gaming videos and shit. And then even he changes with the times. Like, he's still himself. He's still his brand. But he adapts and he bends to fit the new trends, like reaction videos. That's a thing that, you know, wasn't really a thing. I mean, it was, but not in the way that it is now. You'd have, like, people who used to just exclusively do reply videos and stuff like that. But that shit was, like, bottom feeding. It wasn't considered, like, viable entertainment. Reaction videos are, like, kind of a new phenomenon. And it's something that a lot of YouTubers have just taken to adapting to and adding to their existing content. Fuck! Yeah, it's just, it's not easy for anybody, but it's definitely harder for others. I know if I was a YouTuber or something on their level of success, I would have quit too a while ago. They've definitely made enough money to just retire. The only reason to keep going is greed, or just because you enjoy it. Those are the two things. Like, you've either wasted all your money and you desperately need more, or you're just somebody who is never satisfied, or you're just doing it because you like it, which is totally fair. But it's... Alright, can I... What is the deal with this? If I go up here... Morph Ball... I don't think we went up here yet. Okay. Yeah. And I you know... Going back to that advice, which is good advice, find things to stick out. I definitely want to do that. I want to find more things to stick out, and I think a big part of that is just not streaming video games. I think a big part of that is just finding other types of content to stream instead. Whether that's workout videos, like me losing weight, which is something I've talked about for a while, and I've made promises of doing, and haven't really fulfilled those. But streaming shit like Ring Fit, or just general workout sessions, that's a novelty, because not everybody who streams, and everybody in the subsection of fitness streamers, are people that are fat trying to lose a shitload of weight. So I think that's something I could do. You know, you've got cooking streams, that's a whole subgenre. I mean, if you try and be a jack of all trades and do everything, then there's a chance that nobody enjoys it, because the people who like one thing are gonna just sit by while you do a bunch of other stuff at the same time they don't care about. Uninterested. Become a telescope reviewer. Man, I had a telescope as a kid and I loved it. I don't think I have it anymore, but I really enjoyed it. Yeah, this game needs fast travel, man. Fuck. We could do a podcast. Man, I wish I was 10 years older. Because I had, as a kid, I had so many ideas for YouTube videos and fresh things to do online that I really believed and still believe would draw viewers in, that have now become popular. But it's just I was a child who didn't have the resources or the time to do it. Not to mention nobody would watch a kid in the first place. But it's like now that I have money and I have the time to invest into a project like that, it's too late because the market's already saturated. Like, I wanted to do a podcast a long, long time ago. I even tried to do one with some friends in like 2011, 2012. But, you know, that fell apart because I was the only one that was really interested in doing it. It just fell to shit. Nobody else wanted to commit to it. Not that that would have taken off because we were fucking 7th graders, but the idea was there. And I wanted to do Let's Plays, but I didn't have a job. I couldn't afford a capture card. And again, I was a child. Nobody's gonna listen to a child. I wouldn't listen to a child. Okay. I need to get to the Chozo Ruins. I guess we go to the overworld. I wonder if Metroid 2, or Prime 2 and Prime 3 are any better with this. Yeah, it's a podcast that Thomas made for school. The name of it was The Wheel. And the idea was one that I like, where the topic was determined by spinning a wheel. So, like, you'd find things, the wheel would have a list of subjects to talk about, and whatever it is would be random. Because you wouldn't know what the wheel would land on before spinning it. Which I think is a neat idea. Yeah, university. Ah! Shit. I think it would also help the stream if I was playing something else. I know I made that announcement a few months ago, at the beginning of the year, about kind of restructuring the channel and avoiding, like... avoiding, like, multiple days a week streams because the viewership just wasn't there. But I do think streaming multiple games in 1 week will help the feeling of Metroid feeling monotonous. Because Metroid's, you know, losing steam for me as a player, and as for at least some of you, as you've admitted, as a viewer. But if there was another game simultaneously in the same week that breaks it up a little bit, I don't think it would be as bad. Oh, I'm sure somebody does that already. It's a variety podcast that just, you know, spur of the moment. Definitely. I mean, you could look at, like, Red Letter Media's, what is it called? I haven't watched Red Letter Media in a while. But that series they have where they spin the wheel of bad movies. I forget what it's called. They have, like, a wheel with a bunch of VHS tapes on it. And then whatever the wheel lands on, that's the movie they watch. I think it's just called Best of the Worst. That's the name of the show where they watch bad movies. But, there's, like, a certain subsection of them where they spin a wheel. It's kind of like that. Instead of podcast topics, it's what movie are we going to discuss today? What are we going to watch? What are we going to talk about? And you could totally edit it in post and just pretend that you're spinning it organically and just make it whatever, which I think they've admitted is what they do, at least sometimes. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's like people trying to be a rapper. It's pretty much the same thing. was gonna say every black kid, but not even that. Just like a ton of like, I don't know if I'd say kids, but like tweens and teens. Like they want to be the next rap sensation. Like they want to be the next. I don't know who's popular anymore. But like ever since the 90s, that's been viewed as like, yeah, I'm gonna be the next so-and-so. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make beats, and I know multiple friends and even people in my family that you know, they've tried rapping and making beats and whatever. And some of them, you know, they recognize the statistical odds of them making it, no matter how good it is. Because again, it's who you know, and it's luck. But then there's other people that are kind of delusional that think that, yeah, eventually they're going to make it. And they're not. Super not. Alright, take care, Carlos. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you've got enough energy later for whatever it is you're doing. And, yeah, I'll talk to you later. Oh, you're talking about your laptop. When you said fully charged, I thought you were talking about energy. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, it's just like so many kids. I wouldn't even say just in America, but so many kids. You know, they turned into they go through school and they listen to music and they're like, yeah, I could be the next big artist. Statistically impossible. It's no different than, you know, Let's Plays. It's the exact same shit. Or whatever kind of YouTube content they want to make. It's just not... None of it's feasible. Christ. This room have any other uses? No. I know a spot where we can get another missile upgrade. Which is in the Chozo ruins. I think it was... Where is it? Down here. Right there. There's definitely, yeah. Now, where do we get the grapple beam? That's my question. I think it's along with whatever the red beam is, the last power-up we have left. I don't know. I'm gonna shut up about the you know, the meta stuff. Yeah, I think we've kind of we've been talking about that for a while, and I'm getting tired of it. I'm sure you are too. Especially because none of it is hopeful. None of it is optimistic. All that to say that, you know, changes to the channel are coming. If not for attempting to increase an audience and viewership and engagement, but just to save my own sanity. I might go back to multiple days a week streaming, might get rid of full playthroughs altogether and just do variety streams, or kind of like a first impression stream. So like for Metroid Prime, I'd play the first part on stream and do the rest by myself whenever I feel like it. So I'm not committed to playing a game that falls off like this one. But, you know, we'll see, we'll see. wait, this isn't it. No, I think, yeah, this is just a missile upgrade. I don't think there's anything super important down here. But more missiles is always better. 50 missiles, we'll take it. But I don't know where to go now. I'm trying to think. We went through the snowy area with our new ice beam. There's no more ice beam doors here. I don't think there's any in the caves. This area we can't get to because of the grapple beam. Like the grapple beam and the red laser, those are the only things we're missing. I don't think I've seen a red door once. Maybe I have. The beginning area? That's a good point. Let's check the map. Let's see if there's any doors there. Those are all open. Oh! This area is probably it, because this thing, I remember we came in here and there was a giant lake, and now we can move underwater with full speed and like jump height and stuff. So this is probably it. I think you're on the ball there. Opening area is definitely where we need to go. Yeah. And I hate doing something, going back to the, you know, this shit. I hate doing something that will give the impression to other people that I'm doing it because it's popular. You can call me a contrarian if you want. I try and stay away from that label, and I try and stay away from that mindset when I can. But if a movie comes out and everyone is watching it and hyping it up, I kind of don't want to watch it because I don't want people to think I'm just following public opinion. Even if I was interested in the movie beforehand. And I know I mentioned that on stream before. Stuff like Parasite and Everything Everywhere All at Once. Those are movies I wanted to see, and then I didn't manage to see it when it came out, and everybody was raving about it, and I'm like, well shit, I'm just gonna look like a fucking sheep if I watch it now. It's sort of the same deal with like following and chasing the trends and formats that work online. With like making a podcast, something I've wanted to do since I was a kid. Like I've always thought that was fun. Even if it's just for the sake of my friends and I to look back on. Even if it never reaches an audience. But if you were to make a podcast now, I mean, I'd be one of like 5 million white men, straight white men on the internet that have a podcast. It's not new, it's not original, and I just look like a trend chaser. Oh, hey Joe. I'd watch the Frank podcast. Well, that's... Thank you. I'm gonna write a book. I'm gonna call it To Be Frank. It's gonna be a very boring book. There's not gonna be too much excitement. A lot of it's gonna be playing Metroid Prime in the book. Yeah, the Wheel podcast, Joe. Thomas's magnum opus. Oh, they're just having full-on band practice out there now. That's great. Ooh, we got a new visor color when we got the purple suit. It's blue now instead of green. That's pretty neat. I would like to make... And, you know, that's another thing I don't like, is the term video essay. Even though it's, you know, on a technical level, it's very apt. It feels like the term content creator to me. Like, I make content. I make video essays. Fucking every documentary ever made throughout the course of history would be considered a video essay. So I don't like that term either. I want to make documentaries. I think that would be fun. Some mini documentaries on YouTube. There's like a short list of subjects where I've bookmarked a bunch of materials that I'd want to research and stuff, and then write the script and do all that. But they're a lot of work, and I think sometimes I get excited about the idea. I put together the list of materials, and then, you know, as time passes, I'm like, I don't really want to invest all the time into this subject. But, that's something I'd like to try. I wonder if we can go anywhere with our new water movement speed in this pond. Probably not. I think this is pretty shallow. Yeah. Yeah, we want to go this way. And the world is just kind of... Joe, you missed a lot of it, but we were talking earlier about how oversaturated the internet is, and how pretty much every niche has been filled, and it's just incredibly hard to compete with anything, you know, for people's attention. We're kind of at the point of the internet where it's like The Simpsons did it age. That joke from South Park where The Simpsons did it first, because they genuinely have pretty much done any joke, the premise. That's where we're at with the internet. It's like hard-pressed to find something that hasn't already been covered in one way or another. Like, some of those ideas I had for documentaries would be about, like, the making of certain movies that I enjoy. And official documentaries may or may not exist, or fan-made documentaries. In which case, fuck me, you know? Why? Why bother? I guess if you're covering something that they didn't cover, there's going to be a lot of overlap regardless. How many documentaries are people willing to watch on the same subject? I don't know. I'm going to stop rambling. I'm sorry. It's all I fucking do ever. Every stream is ramble and go on and on. It's probably what I do in real life too, which annoys people and they don't tell me. But... Whoa! I didn't even notice this. Holy shit. Look at this thing. How did I not see that before? Crashed frigate. Yeah, I'm stupid, man. I did not see it at all. These guys are like dying though. I can barely put up a fight. Okay, this is definitely where we need to go. Put on the ice beam. That's not it. I was wondering why I was moving so slow. It's the damn grass. This feels like a very Star Wars-y area right here. We didn't really talk about it in the, oh well, I guess I kind of, I put in like that image of the sleeping Newman. But I like, how do you guys feel about all the new Star Wars stuff they announced the other day? Very cool doors. I love the way these doors open. You're looking forward to it? I hope they're all good, you know? I'm not too interested in the subject matter for most of them, but I do hope they're good. I mean, who knows? Andor was like my least anticipated Star Wars project maybe ever. A Rogue One spin-off about a character I did not give a shit about, and Andor has genuinely proven itself to be the best Star Wars media since Empire Strikes Back. I mean that. It is good. And it kind of sets the bar for where Star Wars content can be quality-wise. That Mando just, in retrospect, never followed. I feel like the more Filoni's involved, the less interested I get. And I'm really not too enthused about the whole Ahsoka show. And, you know, part of that is because I haven't watched Rebels. And another part of it is because I don't know. I liked Mandalorian better when it was its own thing, kind of disconnected. But ever since Rise of Skywalker bombed and Mando came out, and it was proven to be a mega hit, they've been sort of building Mando as this springboard for other projects and the greater universe's, like, future. And I don't really dig that. It should just be about him and the kid. And that's definitely... I haven't watched today's episode. I don't even know if I'm going to. I probably will. It's 2 episodes left. I might as well keep up with it. With 2 episodes left, I doubt, you know, they can turn it around. Here's the thing with Mando, is like, most of the episodes this season I would say are good episodes. It's just the fact that they're episodes that take place in an 8-season order. They feel like episodes in a show that has 22 episodes ordered for the season. Like a traditional network show. But we don't have time for that. They don't have time for that. You gotta move, and you gotta get through things fast. And they're just not doing it. With only 8 episodes, they cannot afford to be taking the pace that they've been taking. They just can't. Like, it's not a problem with individual episodes. It's just a matter of... we don't have time for this. I mean, I'm rooting for all the shows, too. I hope they're all good. I don't want any of them to be bad. I just don't have much excitement for most of them. Yeah, the plot kind of meandered this season, and it really doesn't know where it's going. And I've heard people make the argument, well, Season 1 and 2 were like episode of the week stories with a little bit of plot. Not really. I mean, yes, but no. They both kind of had a greater, like, goal that would always be moved towards. In Season 1, it was this bounty hunter changing his life and accepting the fact that now he's got a kid to look after. And the, you know, the aftermath of taking the kid at the very start. Season 2, yes, you have these little side... I hate that people are using the term side quests as if B-plots didn't exist before video games, but, you know, you have these sort of side quests, this filler content, which I'm guilty of using that too, but filler's not a video game thing. You have all that stuff in Season 2 with, like, the trip to Ahsoka and the stuff with Boba Fett, but it all served the greater purpose, which was getting the kid back to his people. Reuniting Grogu with the Jedi. That was the overall plot. That was the through line of the story. And they did it. And in Season 3, I thought the through line was going to be retaking Mandalore. Right? Season 2 ends on this cliffhanger where there's Bo-Katan and she's kind of at odds with Mando, and Mando's got the Darksaber, and the kid is gone, so now he has something... he needs to focus on something else with his time and his energy. And, you know, his whole religion believes in this dumb sword and their stupid doctrines about taking the planet back, and so I thought the story was going to be reuniting the clans and taking the planet back. And in Episode 3... or Episode 1 of Season 3, that's kind of what they set up. They set up, I'm going to go to Mandalore to redeem myself by being rebaptized, which is kind of dumb. That's really not why he should be going there, but, you know, that could be the first reason why he wants to go there. Yeah, season 1, he's trying to find Grogu. He's trying to find his own place in the world now that he's got this kid. Season 2, he's got to find the kid's people, and he does. Yeah, they've yet to reconnect the stuff with Dr. Pershing. They kind of... I mean, the evil lady who did the mind flaying, she showed up again. It's clear she's involved, and now that Thrawn is confirmed for Ahsoka, they're probably going to throw Thrawn or some hint of him into this show, and I really don't want that, because I don't give a shit about him. Anyway, the point is, Season 3, Episode 1, it sets up the through line of, we are going to be retaking the planet of Mandalore and reuniting the tribes. Cool! That's exciting! That's something different and exciting. The kid's here. I don't want the kid to be here. That could have been its own thing. You know, what it would be like with him trying to take on this huge endeavor without the support of his quasi-son. And then Episode 2, he gets to Mandalore. There's no Imperial presence whatsoever. He gets there with ease. He breathes there with ease. I'm just kind of rambling and not playing the game, sorry. But it's like, he gets there, he baptizes himself in the water, and he fucks off. And he does that in Episode 2. And then Episode 3 onwards, it's just him and the other Mandalorians goofing around at their little beach camp. They're not reuniting the tribes. They know the planet is habitable, and they're still not moving there. That was the biggest thing for me when I was watching Mando Season 3 so far. Is it's like, Mando came back from Mandalore. Him and Bo-Katan came back. The Armorer's little cult, the tribe of Mandalorians, they know the planet is inhabitable. That's a big deal. That's something that they've been lied to about for decades. And what do they do with that information? Nothing. They do nothing with that information. And instead, they just continue to fuck around on this little beach where they only look like dumbasses because kids are getting kidnapped and all this other shit. They're not doing anything. There's no movement forward at all. And finally, like 3 episodes before the end of the season, we finally have some kind of statement that, hey, we're going to retake the planet, we're going to reunite the tribes. It still hasn't really happened. Last week's, we maybe got a dozen Mandos to join us and some ships. It's just... And then he just gave the Darksaber away. You know? So again, this guy, he achieved his arc in Episode 2 of the show. And to prove that he's done being important in the story, him and the kid, who the show is about, the two of them, here, Bo-Katan, here's the protagonist MacGuffin. I don't want to be the main character anymore. It's basically how it feels. None of the episodes in particular are bad, but I don't like how the show has kind of lost its focus. And I don't like the pace that it's moving at because it genuinely doesn't have the time to do so as an 8-episode prestige TV show. Like, it just can't. For anyone who doesn't give a shit about Star Wars, I apologize. I do. But I like Star Wars, and I think most people like Star Wars, so it's worth talking about. They went to the planet last week to get Bo-Katan's fleet back. Her faction from Season 2 that left her when she lost the Darksaber. Right? Like they lost... Like, when Din won it from Moff Gideon, they were like, alright, Bo-Katan's a bitch. She's not qualified. We're just gonna take her ships and her people and leave. And, this was about getting those people back, getting those ships back. Whoa. But most of the episode is a side quest. Again, you know, video game terminology. About, you know, solving this sort of law and order crime. Which I didn't mind the actual plot of the episode. I thought it was fine. I do think it's troublesome the way that Star Wars treats its droids, but that's a whole other conversation. It goes all the way back to A New Hope. I thought the episode was fine, but I don't like that most of it had nothing to do with getting those people back. The people that they went there to get. And then the actual conflict of the episode, getting those people back, was resolved in minutes. Literally, 2 minutes. Just a little fight and a conversation. When the whole episode could have been about Bo trying to win back those people's admiration or something. Instead, they're solving this space cop crime. The fight was just, you know, like hand-to-hand with a knife and a little bit of jetpack action. This area is kind of a nightmare. The celebrity cameos. Some, I mean, I don't have a problem with Jack Black or Christopher Lloyd. Christopher Lloyd was great. And I think Lizzo was fine, but I think she was distracting because Lizzo is not an actor. She's just not an actor. Jack Black is an actor. Christopher Lloyd's an actor. They are acting. She felt like she was just herself. Just a normal person, not really putting in too much of a performance. I thought she was fine, but like, again, the point is like, she's not an actor. She just doesn't have the stuff. She's a singer. Okay. Well, we gotta shoot some more stupid things. It was cool to see a separatist again. That was nice. To even hear Count Dooku get name dropped. Again, was fun, but this is the kind of episode you get on Law and Order. A procedural show that's 22 episodes or whatever a season. You know, it's not the show with 8 episodes every 2 years. That kind of show should not have an episode like this. There needs to be urgency, and there's been none of it. We find out Mandalore is inhabitable, and the group doesn't give a shit. They're still screwing around. That was mistake number 1, and that just kind of snowballed into a series of, what are we doing with this season? Because from the get-go, things should have been way more urgent. And now we've got this whole possibly being framed or whatever plot with Moff Gideon, and it's like, that's a whole other can of worms that feels entirely disconnected from retaking the planet and reuniting the tribes, which could have been an exciting season of having to prove yourself to a bunch of different tribes and solving conflicts between them because they may have differences. You know, you can make entire episodes out of bringing in these tribes into the fold, and then continue that later by having these tribes have some kind of conflict and ideology. And as a result, you know, have Din and Bo be the moderators of this. And try and keep the peace as they fight whatever is on the planet. But there's nothing to fight on the planet other than one little scrap collector, I guess. And it turns out bringing the people in is as easy as, look, I've got the sword. Yeah, no, well, I mean, the thing is, even with the, you know, Bryce Dallas Howard, yeah, she's done a good job with all of her episodes, and I think last week's was a good episode. I just think the problem is, it's not the time or the place for it. Like, it's not a bad episode of Star Wars media, but in the context of an 8-episode season, where most of the season has already kind of wasted our time with these side trips, It just wasn't the right place. It's not a bad episode by any means. I really don't think that. But I do think that it wasn't... just should have been something else. Yeah, the whole Moff Gideon plot and whatever, that's clearly just future world building and not actually focus, like a focus of the show's real story. Yeah, man, I don't know. Just a lot of messiness this season. I don't know how it's supposed to end. I haven't read any leaks, but I'm sure it's not going to wrap up in a satisfying way. It's probably going to end on a cliffhanger. And who knows if that cliffhanger is even going to be resolved in Mando Season 4. Season 2's cliffhanger didn't. It got resolved in another show. And they handled it piss poor in this one. You know, if they wrap it up next week with a cliffhanger, and then that cliffhanger gets resolved in the Dave Filoni movie, and then Mando Season 4 happens, however the fuck they're gonna handle it, I don't know how the release schedule looks. I just don't care. I just want Andor Season 2, which is confirmed for next September, I think. Just give me Andor Season 2 and I'll be happy. The rest, I at this point, I could not give less of a shit about. I think they've kind of turned me off of it, which is a shame. But I know there's one after this, but I'm just saying they've kind of wasted over half the season already, without moving the plot forward in any way. So I fail to see how they're going to turn it around in 2 hours. 2 hours at most, because they're not even all an hour. Some are just like 40 minutes. And I hate that they brought Grogu back, because Grogu has done nothing this season. If they had an actual plot for him, some kind of real character development, okay, fine. But this season, they brought him back, ruining the impact of Season 2's ending. For what? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. He's done nothing. He's just there in every scene. Like, think about last episode. If he was gone, Bo and Din's adventure on that planet with Jack Black and Lizzo and whatever, that would have been exactly the same. We just would have missed out on a couple cutesy scenes of him cheating at shuffleboard. Like there's nothing there. There's just no character there. Just a merchandise icon. Maybe they knew. I mean, I originally was thinking, like, okay, Disney executives forced them to bring Grogu back, but what if Filoni and Favreau knew Season 3 kind of sucked, and they were the ones who decided to bring Grogu back through development in Boba Fett because they were writing Season 3 and realized, shit, people aren't gonna, like this season. If we put the baby back, we might have a better shot. I don't know. Maybe maybe Boba Fett was filming, they were writing Season 3 of Mando, and they were like, this is gonna suck ass. Like, there's gonna be a lot of problems here, and if we bring the baby back, even though that makes our last season worse, in retrospect, maybe people will be more forgiving. That's the only reason, other than the Disney executive forcing them to. But it's just... I don't know, I've seen I mean, if you go to, like, the Star Wars subreddit, yeah, you're gonna see people who just, they eat up everything. I remember I saw a review thread talking about, people, it was either talking about future Mando stuff or just, like, the stuff that was announced recently. And one of the top comments was like, I'm always happy for more Star Wars. And some guy replied like, in quotes, like, I must consume or something. And he got downvoted to hell, but the guy's right. Like, if your bar for what you're willing to watch is just more Star Wars, and with no concerns as to the quality of it, then you deserve to be made fun of, because you're the problem. Because of people like you, they're not trying to make the shows good. They're just trying to pump them out as quickly as possible. And that's like a real subset of people that don't give a shit about the quality, as long as it fits canon, as long as they see the reference or whatever, and they clap, and they see the thing, then they're happy. And they just bring it down for everybody else. Yeah, the episode discussions, they were like, whoa, wasn't that a sick spaceship? Whoa, that character, oh, we haven't seen them since the Clone Wars. Shit like that. But I do see an uptick in people like, hey, this season kind of blows. This season is actually not great. I do see that. Phazon Mines, we got a new area, boys. We're definitely gonna have to backtrack through these other ones for sure. But that's a whole new area down there. Have I gone through all these doors? I guess. Yeah, I have, yeah. Yeah, like the Red Letter Media, I clapped when I saw it. ATST! That's how a lot of real people are. There's a lot of real Star Wars fans that just go, I hope there's a lightsaber. I really want them to use a lightsaber. They just clap and they just take it all in and they love it. And if anybody tries to point out, hey, maybe we deserve a higher quality piece of entertainment. Maybe we should feel a little insulted with how poor the writing is. And how easy they think it is to entertain us. Then they just get attacked and shit. If you're gonna be aggressively, if you're gonna be like this fanboy who's like aggressively defensive over this fucking piece of media, this franchise that doesn't care about you, the least you could do is expect it to be good. To somehow warrant the ride or die fanboyism. Alright, we got a new area, which we haven't had in like 2 streams, so that's pretty cool. Jedi Order is great Star Wars media. And I'm telling you, you gotta watch Andor. Like, it's actually... It's insane. You watch Andor and Mandalorian, it's just like a fucking Saturday morning cartoon. Like Andor is really good. That is the best Star Wars media that Disney has put out. By a large fucking margin. And after you watch it, you're gonna wonder, why aren't the rest of the shows this good? It's not about tone, it's not about being a mature, dark, gritty political thriller. It's about having writing that cares about the audience and doesn't treat them like morons. Tone doesn't matter in that conversation. It's about treating your audience with respect. Yeah, Fallen Order was great, though. It was good. And part of why it's good is because it's so disconnected. You know? It's its own thing. It's just a solo adventure. Are there cameos from characters in the universe? Yeah, of course. But are they setting up Cal to fight Thrawn for the birth of the First Order? No. I remember when I was bitching about Filoni in the group chat a few weeks ago, I listed Filoni's formula. You kind of like didn't say anything. I could tell you didn't really agree with what I was saying there, which is just take old EU stories, insert your OCs, throw in some deep lore cuts and references, deep cuts and lore references to appease fans. That's his formula, and that's what I said weeks ago, and you didn't really say anything in reaction to that. But look at it now. Perfect example. Hey, the Thrawn books from the 90s. I like those. I'm gonna shove Ahsoka into those stories. And I'm going to redo those stories entirely, but I'm gonna slap my name on it, and I'm gonna put my OCs in there. And I'm gonna throw in some references and some EU lore, and everybody's gonna eat it up like slop. That's what Ahsoka is. That's from the trailer. Like, whether the show is actually a quality show or not is, you know, that's what he does. He takes EU stories he likes and he rips them off wholesale. He did it a bunch in Clone Wars. Okay. Alright, I'm done talking about this too. But just to close it up, people should you shouldn't be afraid to ask for better entertainment. It's not too much to ask that the things you spend your time watching are good. Like, that's not an unreasonable request. You're investing your time into the show, you're investing your money into it by paying for a subscription. It should be a good show. It should treat you like somebody who is not a child and not waste your time. I don't think that's important. He's trying to retroactively fix the sequel trilogy. Absolutely. I talked to Jerry about this. You know, he's trying to do what he did with the Clone Wars. Which is, yeah, retroactively fix the prequel trilogy. He's trying to do the same thing. But the problem is, the prequels were just a problem in execution. Okay? There's a lot of problems in execution when it comes to the prequels. But in terms of ideas and concepts, it is insane. It is actually, like, damn impressive how creative the prequels were. How much new and varied stuff they brought to the table. But the sequels didn't bring shit. There's no unique, interesting ideas, locations, characters. Practically everything in the sequel trilogy is fucking boring. Not just in execution, but concept. Almost everything. And you can thank J.J. Abrams for that. So, you know, you want to fix it the way you fixed the prequels with the Clone Wars, where you take these great ideas, these great concepts and characters, and flesh them out. You can't do that with the sequels, because there's nothing to flesh out. There's no interesting ideas. There's nothing to expand. The execution wasn't the only problem. It was a problem on the fundamental level. There's nothing you can fix in the sequel trilogy, because the sequel trilogy didn't take any risks. It didn't have any original ideas. The only person in that trilogy who tried to do something different was Rian Johnson, and he got fucking blasted for it. Not just by the internet, but by J.J. Abrams, who tried to undo everything he tried to do that was interesting. So, there you go. Nothing to fix there. The Last Jedi is the only good movie in that trilogy. I liked The Force Awakens. When it came out, I enjoyed it quite a bit. But then, by the end, all of JJ's fucking mystery boxes... Not only was Force Awakens too heavy-handed on just repeating A New Hope again, but it also just it set up a lot of things with no answer. Like, people give Rian Johnson shit for Luke in Last Jedi. But who made Luke a hermit that abandoned his friends? Who made Luke somebody who abandoned the Jedi Order? Who is the one that had Luke turn on his nephew? All of that shit is set up in Force Awakens by J.J. Abrams. Luke is a hermit living alone who's abandoned his ideology and his friends. None of that is Ryan's fault. The only good thing in Force Awakens were the characters. Finn was promising, Poe was promising, Rey was promising. They were all likable, they had good chemistry. And in Episode 9 and 8, they're mostly split up. I liked Rey. I did. I liked Finn more. I don't know how I felt about Poe. I think I liked Poe about as much as Rey. I'll tell you what. Rey was a lot more interesting when Rian Johnson told us that her parents were nobody. She was just some kid, orphan kid in the desert. And the message of that movie, that anyone can be a hero. It's not about a special lineage or birthright. Anyone can be Force sensitive. Anybody can be a hero. That is a wonderful message. And then JJ spits on that and says, not only is your lineage Rey important, but nobody matters unless they have an important family name. You have to have the genes, baby. Where am I going? That door is not... No, I tried that. When you tilt the crane the other way, there's no way to climb up it. Yeah. The only person who tried to take risks was Rian Johnson, and he got bullied for it online, just like George Lucas did with the prequels. He's the only one who tried to do anything interesting in the sequel trilogy. Did it all work? No, it didn't all work. But there was a lot of neat stuff there. There was a lot of interesting ideas that fans fucking hated. And J.J. Abrams fucking hated. Even though J.J. Abrams is the one who put him in the position to create most of those ideas in the first place. It's his stupid fucking mystery boxes, which are just a fancy way of saying, I'll leave this problem for the next guy, that gave Ryan the opportunity to make those character choices that he did. And those thematic choices. And man, I feel bad for the guy. I think Rian Johnson did a great fucking job. Not only is it the prettiest of the sequels, but it really is just the best, thematically. The execution wasn't perfect, but it's the only one that tried anything. The other two are fucking... The first one is just New Hope, soft reboot, and I was only okay with it because of the potential for the other two movies, which, you know, JJ shit that up. So Force Awakens is worse in retrospect. And then you have 9, which is just a mess. Yeah, the original Episode 9 was a lot more interesting. Incorporating, like, Coruscant and shit. Did you know that the original draft for 7, JJ wanted to blow up Coruscant with the Starkiller base? Like, J.J. Abrams is just some guy who thinks that Star Wars is Episode 4. Star Wars to him is some sci-fi action movie with spaceships and lightsabers, laser swords and spaceships and big boom. You know, that's what JJ thinks of it. He doesn't care about the ideas, he doesn't care about the story or the lore. That's why Episode 7 is just Episode 4 again. But worse. Because to him, it's all about the visuals, it's all about the set pieces, the iconography. He doesn't give a shit about any of the other stuff. Thankfully, Disney told him, no, you can't blow up Coruscant. We might want to go there again in the future. But to him, he doesn't give a shit. He despises the prequels. He despises Star Wars trying to do anything new or interesting, because to him, it's all just about the Millennium Falcon and lightsabers and stormtroopers and anything that was familiar to him as a kid when he saw the one movie that he enjoyed. I don't know. To get through that force field, they want me to turn off 2 force field terminals. The first one I already turned off. It was down there. Or it said the second one, but I don't know where the first one is. The first one was down... I'm like not even fully focused on the game because I fucking despise J.J. Abrams so much. I hate to say the word ruined, because the stuff I like from Star Wars is still there, but we only had one shot at getting the original trio back together, and he ruined it. He ruined it. He ruined it. Han and Luke never saw each other. The original trio never met up, and that's not Ryan's fault. Ryan didn't kill Han, and Ryan didn't make Luke a hermit. Carrie Fisher ruined it by dying. That's terrible. I mean, you're not exactly wrong, but you kind of are. You know. If JJ didn't write them all so far apart, like literal distance-wise, we probably would have seen it. Killed Han, split the group up before that even happened. I just... God. You only had one shot. Even if Carrie Fisher didn't die, there would be no scenario on Earth where they would soft reboot a sequel trilogy. Or, not soft reboot. There's no chance in hell Disney would make a sequel trilogy and then reboot it. As creatively bankrupt as they are, that would not happen. They wouldn't go, here was a Luke, Leia, Han, you know, when they're old story with new characters. Oh, you guys didn't like it? We'll do it again. Like, if Carrie Fisher was alive, it would make no difference. It would make no difference at all. If I could go back in time and strangle J.J. Abrams and wear his skin and write the movie, I would probably do it. If I could do that, I probably would. And I think the world would thank me for it. It'd probably also save the world of his son's shitty Spider-Man comic, too. It's not even just his son's. J.J. wrote it as well, from what I understand. The world wouldn't thank you for it, they wouldn't know. Well, I'd keep a copy on a USB stick of the original movie. Just so they know what to be thanking me for. Maybe it's in this room. It's got to be in this room. Whatever I'm looking for. But, I mean, you know, you had one shot and you blew it. And now Carrie Fisher's dead. And it's literally ruined forever. You're never going to have another chance to redo it. Not that they would have rebooted it anyway. It's like the people who want them to redo Game of Thrones Season 8. It's just never going to happen. It doesn't matter if the cast is alive or not. They had one shot, they ruined it. A franchise that was a cultural touchstone for the entire medium of cinema, and they cheapened it. And you can argue whether or not Lucas cheapened it with the prequels and all his merchandising, or even with the Return of the Jedi and all its merchandising. But, you know, didn't make the situation any better. Okay, look, if I climb up here, you can't get out of Morph Ball mode. This thing is for the grapple beam, which I don't have. So that's to swing over there. I'm guessing the grapple beam is down there. But that thing says, dual control force field is online. Deactivation controls are likely nearby. If I go into the thermal view, I don't see shit. I see the two crane controls. Or there's the power for the crane. Okay? There was nothing to scan on the crane. That's flavor text, and all this does is turn it. No, yeah, well, you have to move the crane for some reason, right? Well, I moved the crane earlier. Because when you climb on top of it with the morph ball, I'm pretty sure it was just a missile upgrade. Like, I'm pretty sure that's all it was. It was just an upgrade for the missile capacity. Not the hole. But... because the hole doesn't go anywhere. But on top of here, there was a thing to pick up. There was... oh, that's what was in the hole. There was a missile upgrade that I picked up already. Totally optional. I can't get out of morph ball mode. There's nothing I can do here. So yeah, I'm gonna Google it. What is this room? Main quarry? Yeah, we're gonna Google it. Googling it didn't help. I'm watching a video on YouTube. How the hell did that door open? I don't understand. I'm watching this guy's clip of it, and the door, the yellow force field's already open. And then the other videos are just fucking speedrunning tricks. Scan reticles located parallel to each other, straight in front of the field. What? No? Let's look at that. Let's go ahead and just jump down. Oh, wait. I'm stupid. I'm fucking dumb. There you go. You got it. Why is it down here? And then the other one was here. I scanned that one earlier, and I just didn't notice this one over here. God, I am stupid. I'm genuinely stupid. I must be. I just figured the crane would be used for something else. Whoa. killed that guy. That's what I said. And I looked up a clip, and apparently the remaster's thermal vision is worse than the originals. Like, I looked at clips of the original game's thermal vision, and it looks much sharper than this. They made it worse on purpose. Like, it's a design decision. And I don't understand. I just don't get it. These guys are big. Wave Trooper. They have wave beam technology. Okay. Space pirates have reverse engineered several of your weapons, including the wave beam. How? It says they're weak to my own wave beam. I'm wondering how the fuck they replicated my weapons. Did this happen before the game started? I guess it must have, right? No way they fabricated this armor in the span of hours that I've been on the planet. That's not likely, right? Yeah, they reversed it, but then it said something like they're weak, like some flaw in the technology means that it's weak to itself, is what it said, basically. I can't get in here because it's a scans for the space pirate DNA or whatever, so what the fuck do I do? Bendezium again. I've seen that pop up several times. These, yeah, it's gotta be the red beam. For sure. I'm getting radiation poisoning. Oh, I can just use the bombs. Okay. I don't remember if I said this on stream or not, but I was talking to Jerry about, because, you know, he's like a big Metroid guy, and I'm like, hey, I've been playing Prime and I like it. And he's like, oh, I haven't played any of the Prime games. Okay. Yeah, there's no reason for performance drops on the Switch. It came out in 2017. Like, it came out in the same time frame as the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. For less money, mind you, but it's even weaker than a PS4 or whatever. It's crazy. Yeah, Joe, when you say you played a Sonic game, it's true. There are a lot of bad Sonic games. Elite Pirate Alpha? Oh. Are we gonna free it? No, it's just some lore I don't care about. No, you're right. Not that much less. Well, I'm saying less than a Pro or a 1X, but it was still $300, which was about the price of a regular Xbox One or a PS4. Jesus. Get down here. Come on. Can you not touch me from here? Okay, you can. Yeah, there's no excuse. You want to say portability? I mean, the Steam Deck is about as powerful as an Xbox One, and the Steam Deck is $400. I don't know if the technology wasn't there in 2017, but I'm pretty sure the excuse is that Nintendo just cheapened out, and their hardware is always behind. I think the GameCube was stronger than the PS2 hardware-wise, but everything since the Wii has been behind the curve. Yeah, these days, if it wasn't for exclusives, there's no reason to get a Switch. And even then, if you get the exclusives and you rip the cartridges yourself, you can legally emulate the Switch games. So you can buy a Switch game and play it on your Steam Deck. With better performance, typically. The only thing you're not gonna get is, I don't know, Joy-Cons, the Switch UI, the shitty discounts on the eShop. Emulation is legal. 100% legal. Nintendo says it's not, but that's Nintendo trying to just make a lie into the truth by repeating it a bunch of times. The courts have already proven, yes, it is. It's your product, you can do what you want with it. If you own the game, legally, you can dump it onto a computer and play it through another piece of hardware. It's your game, your files, you bought. So, yeah. $400 for a Steam Deck, and as long as you're not afraid to get your hands dirty there, you can even play those Nintendo exclusives. So there's quite literally no excuse. I mean, the Steam Pad's got gyro aim, it's got the ability to dock to a television. There's really nothing about the Switch except the separatable controllers that's a plus. Nintendo is catered to kids and nostalgia adults, which means it's kind of like the argument people make about Star Wars. Like, oh, you don't have to try as hard because it's for kids. No, it's still $300, and if it was really catered to kids, I mean, I don't know, man. There's, they're aware of the adults on their platforms. They're more like Disney, where they're trying to cater to everybody. They're trying to cater to families, have like a family image, but the truth of it is, Pulse Beam? Great, we don't have that. It's like, that's not an excuse to cut corners. Absolutely not. I completely agree. So we can't get there. Maybe with this? Oh, I see. Shit. You can only spin it one way, which is incredibly stupid. Awesome. Yeah, for $300, they could have put out a better console. It would have just compromised portability, and it would have compromised their overheads. But that's just, I don't know, like, I don't care. And they've had plenty of time to do a hardware refresh like the Pro or the One X, but they haven't. They've been using the same system with no changes, other than an OLED screen and a slightly better kickstand. Those are the only things we got in the hardware refresh. And who gives a shit about an OLED screen when it's a fucking 720 display? It's a 720p screen. OLED or not, like, what difference is that really gonna make? I'm gonna die soon if I don't kill these fucking guys and heal up. Like, I'm sure the OLED screen is nice. I'm pretty sure I've seen it on Jerry's. And it looks good. But that's not the point. The point is, you know, for the money you're paying... Okay. I need to get rid of this annoying beeping sound. Which is not going to happen, it looks like. And they never put their games on sale. Yeah. They're very greedy. They never put their games on sale, ever. They say it's some kind of brand thing to make the brand more valuable, but that's bullshit. It's just them knowing that they can get away with it because people look for their games exclusively. Oh, this needs to stop. This needs to stop. Oh, this is where you change it. Okay. It does sound like a noise from Toy Story. The little radio with a face. It's got the mic, the red and white one. There's a shortcut we're about to unlock that takes us back to the save room, so I'm hopeful for that. Because I don't want to hear this anymore. Yeah, no, Nintendo's greedy, alright? They do all this shit, like no hardware refreshes, no sales ever, and on top of it all, they don't make their games available for purchase after a certain amount of time. They don't care about preservation. If I want to play a certain game, then it's just lost to the sands of time, because Nintendo couldn't be bothered to give a shit. I did go to the second floor. I changed the middle section, but I have to change... I'm turning the sound off. Oh, wonderful. Oh, okay, good. I thought I had to tap it 100 times. Yeah. We'll turn the sound effects back on when this shit is resolved. I don't know why I have to stay in here. It's loose. I can kind of roll around. I'm not, like, in one of those sockets. Okay, there we go. Now I take the red one. Because I already went up and I moved the middle portion. So now this should take us to the third portion. Yeah, I did spin the red one already. And now... up here is probably the controls to spin the yellow one, where I needed to go. No! Don't kill me! 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 Fuck off! And the game is really giving me a hint now, when I'm 2 rooms away. Thanks. Is this the shortcut? No. Do I want to open it? Hopefully it's a save point, and not a room full of enemies. Okay, no. No. I don't remember the last time I saved. I'm pretty scared of just losing progress. So let's not do that. The shortcut must be unlocked by opening this one then. How do we get to it? It's on a platform all by itself. Wait. What does this room unlock? The tunnel I just found. Fuck, man. An elevator. To... that's progress. We don't want to go that way. We need to heal. So fucking bad. Okay, so I guess we need to move the red one to get here? Or no, we can... Wait, what? Oh, we just straight up can't do this. We can't do it. We need the Bendezium beam or whatever the fuck. Which we don't have, because it's probably down that shaft. So what we need to do is go back to save. Which is going to be fun. But the alternative is going into the next area blind. Which I'm not keen on doing. Okay, we're gonna go down that shaft and we're gonna call it a day. It turned on the sound effects. The save doesn't... That's like the perfect example of how fucked the save is. It didn't even save me turning off the sound effects. It doesn't even save the options menu changes. On top of everything else. Do I have to get the, I think I have to go get the missile upgrade on the stupid crane again. So let me go do that. I forget, how do you even get up here? Well, thank you. Oh god, I'm so hot right now. Not sexually, but like... I need to go for a nice cold swim. But yeah, this is where what was going on with the crane. Wait, it's gone. Fuck! I just wasted all this time fighting those guys when I could have just ran by. Oh, I can just freeze the turrets. Nice. And then I can turn them off. They're friendly now. Great. Still have to fight all these invisible assholes. With the worst thermal view ever. Tutorial on how to charge the headphones? I didn't realize they were wireless. Oh, change. Change the ear. Okay, I see. I misread changes charge. My bad. Yeah, I don't think I want to play the older Metroids. When I was liking Prime a lot more at the start, I really wanted to go back, maybe. But if they all have this amount of like bullshit, I have no interest. Hopefully Dread is better. I know Dread lets you put markers on the map, like Breath of the Wild, which is something this game doesn't let you do, even though it came out after Breath of the Wild. So hopefully Dread, you know, might have some checkpoints, some autosaves. Probably not. Probably not, but we'll see. Dread does look fun. But if it's got the same backtracking bullshit and like the lack of autosaves, I don't know if I can stomach it. Do I have to kill these assholes at the bottom too? I guess. I guess I do. Yeah, it definitely looks great, but it is missing so many quality of life updates. 100%. And in the case of the thermal vision, it looks like it's worse than the original. Yeah, I don't know why they were so afraid to change any of that. Unless it was a case of them not being afraid and just lazy. But with how much they, you know, remade the graphics, I don't know. They could have gone the extra mile. My right Joy-Con has some lag going on. I don't know if it's some kind of Bluetooth issue with the Switch, or if it's dying, or what. Go away. Die. Fucking die. Go. Shoo! And the problem is, enemies respawn every, like, 3 rooms away. Like, if I move back to the save point and get a refill on my health, all the dickheads in this room are gonna respawn. So it's not like I'm actually being productive by doing that, by going back and giving myself a renew at the save station, because I'm gonna have to do the same fight all over again, and lose a similar amount of health. Yeah, well, Elden Ring is sadistic. That game, you know, part of its DNA is being a pain in the ass. I didn't realize before, but you can break all of these. I wonder if there's an important thing behind one of them. Bet you there is. There has to be. Unless the point of this is use your X-ray vision to find the door. But I think it's pretty obvious because there's a fucking platform leading right to it. If it wasn't the door, then why would that be there? It is really fun in Souls games to do that, though, I agree. Yeah, this is a weird world where you have to scan things to... Come on. Everything has to be scanned or shot to work. Or you need to have a... Like, how are you supposed to... If you're a space pirate who can't transform into a pinball, how the hell are you supposed to rotate your mining cannon? I know how Samus is doing it, but they can't do what Samus can do. Okay, thank God. At least one of them had something. Trackball, I guess. These fixed camera angles, man. They could have gotten rid of that with the quality of life stuff, too. Let me move the camera while I use the morph ball. I don't see why restricting that makes any sense. Come on! Like, I'm sure the camera angles were great for the time, but I'm not a fan of the fixed camera. In anything. Especially this. So we go down that shaft, I'm guessing... Oh, right. I have to stay in it for some reason. We stay... Or we go down that shaft and we're either going to get the grapple beam or we're going to get... the red laser. Those are the only two things left I can think of as a power-up. We've gotten the double jump, we've gotten our underwater movement restored, we've gotten all the morph ball upgrades I could imagine. The only two things we have left are the shit that says Bendezium or whatever, which I guess is what the red beam is going to be for. And then all the points on the map we've seen so far that have grappling hook spots. Those are the only two upgrades I can think of. Go! Fucking die. Get raped for 1,000 years and die. I don't want to see you. Go away. Go away. Go. You think the game would be better as linear instead of open world? I don't know. I don't know. People like Metroid maps. I could not give less of a shit. In fact, I agree with you, but that change will probably never happen. I'm not asking you to click that. It's an It's Always Sunny reference. There's a part in the... Also, it's just funny. But there's that part in the episode where they get taken hostage, where Dee looks at Dennis and says, "I hope they hog tie you and then rape you in their basement for 10 years. Or 1,000,000 years." She says something like that. They're talking... In the episode where they break into the Southern family's house. You know what I'm talking about, right? Basically, I just wish the worst upon that space pirate. And space pirates are murderers and rapists anyway. I mean, I don't know canonically about the rapist part, but they probably are. They're probably not good people. I think that's safe to say. I think I just killed that enemy before he could jump scare me. Oh boy. How many invisible enemies are going to be in this room? And what color are they? Holy shit, that's a big monster. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, I really don't like that. They absorb beam weapon shots. Weak to concussive, so missiles. So just spam missiles, is what I'm hearing. I don't have the health for this. You didn't give me the health for this. Oh, there's his weak spot. I guess. A weak spot. You know what's incredible is I've had this shirt for 10 years. I've gone up 2 shirt sizes since I bought it, and it still fits me. Mostly. It's a good shirt. Alright. I guess I just can't hurt it when it's doing that move. How many missiles do you need, man? I've only got 5 left. And I jumped out of the way of that ring and it meant nothing. Jesus. I used every missile I had. That was the last one. Not all shirts are created equal, it's true. It's a good shirt. I bought it from the Bethesda store. When I was in freshman year? Yeah. High school. Yeah, that was a big enemy there. We've got a morph ball hole that takes us even deeper. What? I wasn't even 1 room away. What the fuck just happened? Who's here? Ice beam dickheads. Yeah, well, I hope they get tortured and whatever else for 1,000 years too, okay? They're trying to attack me. I don't care for their well-being. They're also not real. Oh, they don't sell this shirt anymore. It was like a special event thing. It was like the anniversary of the Great War or whatever from Fallout, so they made this shirt. And it's a reference to Dr. Strangelove. And it's pretty good. Pretty good shirt. It's got the Vault Boy riding a nuke with a cowboy hat in his hand. Good shirt. Good shirt, good reference, and high quality materials. And I'm gonna die again. 'Cause this fucking game is a joke. This looks like a boss room or something. Oh, poison gas. Oh, stink balls. You shouldn't have. Another room full of dickheads. How sweet. And they're color-coded. Yay! If I take one more hit... Fuck! I hate this game. I think I've officially hit the point where I dislike it more than I like it. It's not fun. You just lock on and strafe. And no matter how much you strafe, you're still gonna get hit anyways. Which is why they give you like 20 fucking health bars in the first place. Because they know it's shit. They know you're gonna hit a bunch of get hit a bunch no matter what. I'm not doing all that again, so we'll just pick up next week. God damn, that is frustrating. No. It's not happening. Shitty fucking game. Fuck this game. Anyway, I want to say thank you to my subscribers, who include the following: Ivanko1224, Elucha Dead, Mashup28 Yo, and Pat McGroin. Thank you, the four of you, for subscribing. I appreciate that very much. Thank you for everybody who tuned into today's stream. Thank you for everybody who participated in the chat. It's always nice to talk to people. And I will see you all next Wednesday, where hopefully we wrap this game up, because I think I've hit my limit. I think my patience has officially run out. But yeah, take care, everybody.